35. Oh, sorry.
Hey, what a
There
great
we
way.
go. Yeah, there you go.
I'll be 40 this year, so yes, the allergies are killing me.
Yeah, well, I think you start making I was going to say, and it's being recorded, but when I turned north of 35, I started making certain noises when I would like cough. So I don't know.
And
Is that a signature of health or?
oh, my sneezes have like 10 times and
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, there's certain noises you start making, mid-30s. Yeah, it all starts.
we were talking about how to start this conversation, so that's probably a good way to start it. What's up, Tom? What's up, Luke?
Yeah, very good. How you doing?
Good,
Yep.
man. So
Matt.
everyone out there in the internet, we're running this live stream demo with BuildSync at the end of the month, and I've been talking to Tom and Luke kind of about that demo. And one thing that really stands out to me that they're doing specifically versus anybody who's just, vibe coding any sort of AI tool, because Claude Code and Vibe or as Lovable and all those other platforms out there, it's super easy for somebody to spin something up on the weekend. But it's their whole human in the loop quality assurance piece. And I was like, man, you guys have got to. I love your attitude behind it and how you do it. And so I just like, you guys got to tell everybody what you're doing, because it's such a differentiator. And I think people out there, if they are looking at, a construction company, for instance, they're looking at getting an AI solution, you need to know what you're getting and and what the quality is and what it takes to actually put together a quality AI product. Because again, I can go on my Claude Code right now and basically spin up an AI submittal reviewer and be a competition with you tomorrow, after I build it tonight. But am I really in competition? Because it's going to be garbage, So
Absolutely.
Yep.
I think anything that you can produce over the course of a weekend, that is probably going to be problematic when it comes to functionality. I'm making an aspersion here, but perhaps that's the case.
Yeah, I think too. I mean, obviously, spinning something up like that, you're going to run into issues. But I think what we can kind of dive into is even sophisticated AI systems have limitations, and so really the thing that we focus on is obviously very technical problems, and so understanding what even state-of-the-art AI solutions are capable of doing and what they can't do, and understanding where those gaps exist is actually kind of important, I think, to understand why we solve the problem the way we solve it. So.
yeah, so what's your philosophy there? Like, how are y'all solving those AI
Yeah,
hurdles?
yeah. Well, let's kind of take a step back. So I'm a mechanical engineer. I've spent all my time in my career dealing with MEP stuff in construction. And so when we kind of dove into this, and Tom and I were talking about this problem and trying to figure out how to solve it, right? You really have to kind of start of what kind of output do we want to give, right? If you're my customer, I mean, you've seen our output, right? For us, we said, we want to put something in your hands. It doesn't matter if you're 10 years on the job, 20 years on the job, or a fresh grad who maybe he's not even an engineer, maybe you're a construction management person, right? You don't understand how a generator, how an electrical system works, right? Can we put something in your hand that you can just look at and say, okay, I understand that this is good or not good, right? Just to dumb it down, right? Is this okay? And why is it okay? Is this not okay? And why is it not okay? Right. So for us, we wanted to provide that kind of solution. And so, when you get into AI, right, obviously LLMs are great. They're very powerful tools. They're trained on text. They're very good at reading text. As you know, spec documents, that's all text. LLMs are very good at reading that. However, when you get into the plans and drawings, it's different, right? So you're looking at one-line diagrams, you're looking at little details, you're looking at drawings, but you're also looking at tabular data, right? So a lot of your schedules it's your equipment schedules, your luminaire schedules, your finish schedules, that's all in tables. And so there are a number of different limitations on reading tables and extracting that data so that you can feed it into an LLM and get good responses, right? So what we kind of have done is kind of look at all that information and really looked at the most complicated submittals that you'll review, right? You're looking at AHUs, you're looking at light fixtures, you're looking at fan coil or VRF systems in general, right? And so when you get to those, again, the state-of-the-art AI can do a lot of great things with specs. It can extract data from the specs. It can look at some of that. But as you start looking at the tabular data, well, you're starting to introduce a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of data that is not really as clean, and the output isn't as clean. And so if you're using AI to say, where is this data, or give me a rough idea, without needing strict guidelines on kind of the responses, it can do a good job. But if you say, hey, I have this, I can give you the worst example we've kind of seen. I have 99 different light fixtures in this schedule. It's across 3 pages. It's a 900-page submittal document. And you tell the AI, go tell me all the products that are in there and every single requirement, what the value from the submittal is, what the value from the plans are, and if it meets it. You're introducing a lot of noise that's going to come back that's not right. So basically what, Tom and I have done is we basically take that output and we internally have engineers that will audit that data and make sure, hey, is this data coming out right? Is it complete? And audit that data so that, before we send you the report on everything that's in there, we've confirmed from our side, hey, this is all right. This is good to go. The data is correct. And right, because for you, if you have something that's 50% correct, it's not helpful. If you have something that's 70% correct, that's also not helpful either, right? So it's just one of those things where, like, if it's going to do it for you, it needs to be all correct. And so, given that MEP is it's the most technical, it's the hardest, right? That's really where we kind of use our engineers to help make sure that we can get to that 100% accuracy when we're generating data.
A lot of that, sorry, Matt, just to jump in there, but a lot of that was predicated, Luke, and I'm sure you'll agree here, but why we built BuildSync in the manner that we did was highly predicated upon what our customers were saying to us when we were in research and development mode. Like when we started the company, we were obsessed with trying to ascertain, okay, what does our customer actually want? Do they want complete comprehensive submittal reviews done for them so they can get data returned that they can then send either to subs, to vendors, to design teams, and have a very high level of confidence in the quality of that data? Or do they just want to do submittals faster, but they're still involving their project engineers, their project managers, their APMs to actually go through the process? And maybe that reliably cuts the submittal review time down from, let's say for a complex submittal, 8 hours to maybe 4, 5.5, 6 or something. So certainly is a time saving pre and produced. Or do they just want the submittal review from them? And and I'm sure all firms are different, but the feedback that we consistently got back from potential customers was that we want the submittal problem gone.
Yeah.
We want to have a really high level of confidence in the quality of the data that we can send to other stakeholders. We don't just want our guys to be able to deliver faster submittals. We want to be really focused on the quality of those submittals. So that's why we made the bet in the manner that we did. And to date, I'm proud to say that Luke and I made the correct bet because our customers are loving it. So,
yeah, when you're saying too, I mean, just to take a step back on that, like when you say you have engineers looking at it, like that doesn't mean you had engineers, not AI development engineers. You're talking about actual MEP engineers or architects,
licensed engineers. Yep.
Yeah, looking at it, but not only that help develop the model, but they're actually. So if I put my submittal in there, they're quality checking my submittal. They're the human in the loop, right?
Yep. Yeah. So we generate data. You've kind of seen the reports, right? But let's just take something easy, right? So let's say you put in a generator, right? It's one product, and there's maybe 30 to 40 requirements from the plans and specs, right? So you'll generate all of that data that will say, here's your requirement. Here's what the submittal value is. Does it meet the requirement? Yes or no? And if not, it'll kind of explain it, right? So all that data gets audited from, one of our engineers will audit that data and basically say, okay, this is correct. This is not correct. And yeah, really just to make sure that when you get something that is a generator that's been reviewed, you're not worrying about, is this data correct? Did it hallucinate? Was it reading a table, and did it, if you can get into the problems AI has, like reading tabular data, but there's a ton of issues that can come up. But are the units correct, or even like the decimals, right? That's something AI struggles with. Is if it's reading a table, it'll move decimals out. It could look at a 1 and think it's an I, right? There's all kind of little funky things that can come up. But yeah, just auditing that data, because the reality is, at the end of the day, if you're using an AI solution that's purely AI, and you're the PM or the PE who's reviewing the data that's coming back, you're going to have to do that regardless, right? The check of the auditing of the data has to be done. AI is not 100%. AI is not God, right? AI is good. It can do things very quickly, but if you need something to be 100% correct, you have to check. You have to. There's just no way around it, right? And so for us, we just said, the customer, we can either tell them, hey, you're going to have to do this, or we can just do it for them and just make sure that the output is done for you. So.
I mean, it's super valuable. I think anybody who spent more than 5 minutes playing with ChatGPT or any other AI, you quickly realize, even when you ask this, it's just a simple question. It wants to hallucinate. Even today, with the models have improved crazy, and like you put any sort of documents into it, it likes to go off the rails. What I found too is the more you want to refine what it's doing, it likes to go off the rails even more. And so it's a
prompt cycle of death, prompt cycle.
So somebody's got to look at it. So either one, you can use it as like you just said, you can go from 8 hours to 6 hours, but you're still having to, okay, well, you just took all this data from the submittal and from the plans and from the specs, and you've outlaid it another way for me to check it, because somebody's still got to go check it. And so do you just have your project engineer still do it with their vibe coded thing that they had that's just outlaying it in a little bit different way, but did it even tabulate it in the right way? Because I mean, I use AI to help me write my newsletter articles and that sort of stuff, right? It helped me with the research and all this sort of stuff, and like find a report for this. I've had it completely make up reports. I'm not even kidding. I usually always go check, right? And say, go check it out, find the link, go find it, make sure it's actually legit.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't. It was an OSHA report, OSHA something 2023, blah blah blah, right? It was a super specific report, and it had a statistic like 65% of the people, blah blah blah, whatever it was. And I put that stat into my newsletter. Somebody questioned it in the I'm going off a complete tangent right now, but somebody questioned it down in the comments of the newsletter, and they were like, that's an interesting stat. You have the source? I was like, of course I got the source. I went back to ChatGPT and I found that, and I Googled it, and there was no report. I went back to ChatGPT and I was like, hey, where's this report? I can't find it. Like, no, you gave me this report.
Yeah.
Where's this report? And they were like, oh, great catch. That report does not exist.
It's a little bit late. It's a little bit late. Yeah. I mean, I'm a ChatGPT junkie. I use it for everything. But even just literally today, I was asking questions about a family holiday, and it managed, just for a family holiday, to contradict itself in the same thread. Yeah. And so, but again, I think, we're not turning this into a bashing session by any stretch of the imagination, but Luke is fundamentally correct, for the complexities of and it's a very serious problem we're addressing for the industry. You just have to be careful, particularly, in contexts where perhaps it's junior people that are running with this problem or trying to, review submittals. You've got to be so careful of hallucinations. You've got to be so careful of that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah. I think it is important to, although, we make some jokes about, hallucinations and stuff that come out. AI is very good. I'm not trying to say it's not good. AI is very good. It speeds up things to incredible rates that, haven't been done. But you just have to understand what its limitations are, what it's good at, what it's not good at, and you have to understand what you need out of it, right? If you need something to be 100% accurate, and it's going to have big cost impacts. I've been on jobs, I'm sure, Matt, you've been on jobs where, you submit something, it gets through, that shouldn't have got through, now it's installed, now you got 48-inch gate valves that you got to rip out, that it's going to be $1.5 million, right? I got a lot of horror stories that, probably for a different time, but so it's just like this particular thing, it needs to be right. And that's what our focus, and that's why We just decided to do that, right? But there's lots of other, I mean, AIs get it embedded into everything, right? It is like into workflows, and there's on the technology side, there's things you can do to reduce the amount of hallucinations and make things better, right? Obviously, you guys are using it like a surface level if you're just talking about ChatGPT, but there's things you can do to make it better, but it's still just never. It's just not at a point right now where you can rely on it 100%. You just can't. And so yeah, this particular problem, do you want it done? Do you want it complete? Do you want it right? If that's what you want, we're a good tool. Probably the best tool. If you want a tool that can get you 70% of the way there, but you still have to play with it a lot and check the stuff, and that's probably any other pure AI system that's solving submittals. And so really just understanding, right? The decision between those two is like speed or completeness and accuracy, right? Those are the two things that you're weighing against.
I look forward to diving in here in a couple of weeks here at the end of February. And so digging in, and February 25th it's my lunchtime. So depending on what time zone you're in, lunch-ish for people. So
lunch, we always do lunch-ish. Yeah. Lunch-ish will not be provided, but that's the time we we are getting the connection. We're getting the attendees it's been ramping up. So everyone is mightily curious about the releases that Luke and the guys over in engineering have been releasing in the last couple of months. So got some cool stuff to show you. I'm
looking forward to diving in. Anything else before we bounce?
I'm good.
Nope, things good.
Cool, guys. No, I appreciate you guys coming on and explaining that, because I think it's a huge thing that a lot of people in the industry miss, especially when you haven't been as deep into AI as some of us have been. You don't really know what to look for, I guess, and really know what the limitations are. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Anytime.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Matt.
Bye-bye.
See you.